Jordan, Danny Susanto, Indonesia.
And again, there will be great support for the Korean couple who are in the black and red. Their opponents from Indonesia in the red shirts. Quick point already on the board for Indonesia. It's the second time we've seen Indonesia against Korea today. Looking good for them already. With a brilliant start from Indonesia. Koreans have not got going yet. They can't afford to let this one run away from them. Just need to settle down. Get a toe hold. Well, there's nothing for the crowd to get enthusiastic about as yet. An unnerving start for the Koreans. And they are distinctly inferior at the moment. And the combination is just not coming off. Cut to pieces in the first 2 minutes. Hey, they have a point. And he looks rather angry with himself there. There's Jordan Pravin. Soon back on song though.
8-1.
Well, it's a runaway at the moment. And there's a danger of embarrassment here for the Koreans. The Indonesians were quarter-finalists in the mixed doubles in Copenhagen in the World Championships this year. So they've got very good pedigree. Oh, that should lift the Koreans. The best moment for them so far. They closed it to 9-3 after that horrible start. Suddenly it's all coming right. It's taken them a long time to get going, and that could prove costly ultimately, I suppose. Good work at the net from Debbie Susanto. Jordan there is the junior partner, just 21 years of age, compared with Debbie Susanto at 25. Rather lengthy discussion with the umpire in this match. Sotumo Toi, ultimately sorted out to everybody's satisfaction. But we're already at a key stage of this first game, with Indonesia having moved on to 11 points in about 5 minutes. And it all went through very rapidly, and much to the chagrin of the Koreans, very much against them. But the Indonesians look to be a formidable combination. That is Pravin Jordan, member of the badminton club in Jarum in Indonesia, coached by Richard Manalki. His ambition to be an Olympic Games champion. He was named his club's player of the year last year. And they've certainly taken a stranglehold on this particular match at 11-4. For the Koreans there, Kim Hana. She's got a birthday coming up just after Christmas. And she'll be 25. Point for Korea. Every point vital for them now, just to try and lift that morale, give them the self-belief that they can win the match. It's out. 2 points in a row for Korea. It's the third match we've seen on court one today. And the crowd has loved it, but the Koreans are leaving the court bare at times. And they're being punished for it. Just look how much of the court there was to aim at there for Susanto. Well, it was a brilliant response from Korea, but then unstoppable from Jordan. 13-6. And this particular game could be over very quickly indeed. We've had protracted games before now in both singles and mixed doubles, but this one is rapidly racing towards a conclusion. Crowd is cheering, and they do get the point. 7-13, but at times the Indonesians do look to be in a different class. A lot of singing going on around the court at the moment. Maybe it's somebody's birthday. That's better from Korea, much better. Got it back to 8-13. Beautiful, straight down the middle. Excellent shot from Debbie Susanto, who split the Korean pairing. Though there have been signs that the Koreans are getting it together a bit here. Ko Sung-hun and Kim Hana certainly playing better than they did at the onset. They still trail 8-14 though. Double hit. More points for Indonesia. 15-8 for Susanto and Jordan. Pravin Jordan's serve, and it's successful, so he will retain it. He's had a mixed double success this year in Indonesia, another in Malaysia, and a title too in New Zealand at the Sky City Open. Had a win in Watakiri. And the Indonesians would appear to be on their way to taking this first game as they forge a 17-8 advantage. Right on top of their game at the moment, and Jordan put that one away with ease. A rather disenchanted Korean pairing at the moment, I think, feeling that nothing much is going their way. They'll have to keep battling away to try and get back into this match, which is drifting away from them very quickly. It's not been a great morning for the Koreans, or afternoon now, of course. 3:30 in the afternoon here in Korea. Beaten in the previous mixed doubles and in the singles. The Korean public not having a great deal to cheer on court at the moment. This will be out. A rare glimmer of hope for the Korean couple. It's all too quick for the Koreans, and once again, the man at the fore of all that was Pravin Jordan. In the first match of the day on this court, we saw an Indonesian victory against Korea, but it was after 3 games, and only after the Koreans had taken the first. That was one colossal match. This match is going very definitely Indonesia's way. They take the first game in a very comfortable 21-9 scoreline, and they took it with consummate ease, really. Their expertise around the court, easy for all to see. The Koreans simply had no answers to that. So Susanto and Jordan take the first game 21-9. So on we go for the second game of this third match of the day, and again it is between Korea and Indonesia, with the Indonesians a game up. Out, well out. First point, second game, Indonesia. A little pump of the fist again from Susanto. And certainly the Koreans cannot afford to let Indonesia get away to the sort of racing start they made in the first game, which made them uncatchable. And they've got a point. And they'll have the serve at 1-2. Serving will be Kim Hana.
Swing one.
A rare lapse. That is a mistake from Indonesia, from Jordan.
2-3.
So 2-3. Ko Sung-hyun, second in the Asian Games in Guangzhou 4 years ago in the team event, and a quarter-finalist in the mixed doubles there. And that's out. So for once we've seen some frailty in the Indonesian camp. But the Indonesians quickly regain their best form. It's the Koreans who get the point in the end. And they're now just easing ahead. A turnaround in fortunes in game 2. When something like this happens, you wonder what's happened in the game to change things. But it's certainly the Koreans who have suddenly found a vein of form that was elusive to them earlier. 5-3. 5-3 becomes 6-3. And now there is something for them to cheer. They were so off their game in the first game, or else the Indonesians were so much on their game that it was not a contest. It is now. And another one is put away right down the centre of the court by Kim. Amazingly, it's the Indonesians who can't find a point at the moment. Well, that could be the turning of the tide back Indonesia's way. But at least the Koreans have established a healthy advantage here as Indonesia resumes serve at 4-7. They won't want to expend too much energy if they feel they are the superior team. Five-7. Just close to the net. There have certainly been lapses from Kim Hana in the last few minutes. terrific. Kim was on her knees at one stage there, but it's Jordan who blasts the shuttlecock into the net, and how they love that point. Korea move 8-5 clear in the second game against all the odds. She was on her knees, but got the point. And for once, it's the Indonesians who look a little rattled for the first time in the match. Kim's done brilliantly with that rally again. She's the one who's come to the fore in the last 60 seconds, winning 2 colossal points and getting a low 5 from her colleague. Oh, it's a humdinger of a second game, this. And the crowd going wild. The mood is flattened momentarily. Remember, we have a break at 11 points. Korea 2 away from that mark at the moment. Indonesia 5 away from the target. And it will be Jordan to serve now. Another big point for Korea. Every single point brings a smile to the face, a collective smile to the crowd. Kim are digging deep here, and it's a brilliant run of points for them that take them 11-6 clear in the second game. The Indonesians are not quite sure what's hit them here. It was a one-way contest in the first game. It's not in the second by any means. And Korea are right back in the hunt. 11-6 they lead, having lost the first game. And they lost it emphatically. 21-6 it was.
20 seconds. Pause, 20 seconds.
Complete turnaround in fortunes there. That was a tale of the unexpected. That's the situation of the match then. Indonesia 21-9 the first game, trailed 6-11 in the second.
11-6.
Korea to serve. Little whisper as to the tactics. Brilliantly put away by Jordan.
Service serve. 7-11.
Out, and you can only imagine what the atmosphere will resemble if the Koreans take this to a third game. So it's Indonesia who are needing points and who are leaving gaps on the court. It was vacant there. 13-7. Brilliant stuff at the moment. A joyous look on the face of Kim. And Korea have every chance now of making this a 3-game match. 14-7 they lead. Well, Kim and Co, on you go. The first match today between Korea and Indonesia was very different. Korea taking the first game and then Indonesia running away with it in the third. But who's to say what will happen in a third game in this match? Indonesia are making mistakes. The latest by Debbie Susanto. She's disappointed with herself. No need to apologise. Everybody makes mistakes. This is a quite astonishing turnaround. Whatever the coach said to this couple in between the games has had a terrific effect. I'm giving him some credit. The credit mostly goes to the two players, of course. But Ko Sung-yoon and Kim Hana are looking good. Indonesians cannot get into this game at all, and suddenly Korea are edging very close to the finishing tapes of the game at 18-7. The Indonesians do not know what has hit them. They can do no right at the moment. But it's their supporters who are looking alarmed. It's a rare point for Indonesia.
8-19.
Down the middle, that will give some encouragement. Maybe not in this game, but to Indonesia to believe that they can take the third one if it gets to a decider, which it looks like doing. Still Korea just 2 points away from forcing the issue. That will be good enough to win the point. Way out. 1 point needed for Korea to take it to a third game. Kim poised at the net. Has the chance there. Indonesia fighting to stay alive. It's Korea's game. It's an astonishing turnaround. They take the second game by 21 points to 9, having lost the first game so emphatically by a similar margin. And who would have believed that that could happen, really, that one team is so inferior in the first game and so superior in the second? A complete reversal of fortunes there. So it does all go down to a third game between Korea and Indonesia. Game of this second mixed doubles quarter-final of the day between Ko Sung-hong and Kim Hana, and Praveen Jordan and Debbie Susanto. They represent Indonesia.
Final game. Double.
The third and final game. Ko and Kim on serve. Obviously important to start the decisive game well, and it's Indonesia who do get the first point with a lapse at the net from the male member of the duo, Ko. Ko found a great angle, but he was left squatting, and then when he rallied, he finally put it into the net. Indonesia have a 2-point start. Jordan and Susanto seeking to get off to a racing start in the third game. And they are 3 points to the good. A forlorn look on the face of Kim, showing no emotion at all, Debbie Susanto. I've hardly seen her smile during any of the rallies as yet. Not as animated as some. She's poised to receive serve. And was always struggling there. Down on the haunches, Jordan behind her put it straight into the net. And the Koreans have their first point of this third game. They have a second point. It was cagey around the net, and it was the Koreans who came off best at that little game, and it's 3 apiece. This spurt of form again from the host nation. They're looking to gain revenge for that defeat in the first match of the day in the mixed doubles. One Indonesian couple already through to the semi-finals, but are they going to be joined by their compatriots, or are they to be thwarted by Kim and Ko? Another turnaround, and again it favours Korea. The spectators are really hopeful now, very optimistic. That will be a point for the Indonesians, and again the error is made by Ko, who twice found the net in attempting to put away overhead smashes from the back of the court. Nothing wrong with the leap. Technique is the problem. 4-5. And a 9-10. There's still more drama to come on this court number one. There'll be a women's singles semi-final match next between Li Juanhui of China and Tai Su Ying of Taipei. There's also a men's double semi-final match between Korea and Malaysia. And the action concludes today with a women's doubles gold medal match between Japan and India. Put back on this one, the latest mistake comes from Kim. The shuttlecock was out, and it's 11-9 as we have a refresher and a chance of the coaches just to try and inspire their teams to one last great effort here and to victory. So Ko and Kim, having fought back 21-9 in the second game, having lost the first by the same margin, are trailing 11-9 to Jordan and Susanto in the decisive game. Jordan looks quite calm. I think Susanto looks the more worried of the two. So this is it, into the final segment in the decisive third game of this mixed doubles quarter-final. Very positive start by Ko. 10-11. That was a blistering forehand from Jordan. And a little clenched fist tells you that he's up for it as well, as the Indonesians establish that 2-point cushion again. And it looks to me as though they've suddenly decided to concentrate on Ko here. They've picked him out as maybe the weak link in the combination. And I think for the first time in this game, Indonesia have a 3-point advantage. Well, there was a net cord there, which certainly didn't help the Korean cause. Well, they did hit everything down the right-hand side of Ko, as though that was a weakness they were looking to exploit. And this would appear to be following the pattern of the day. The Koreans right in the matches up until the very end, but losing points at crucial stages, and they now trail 14-10 in the third game of this mixed doubles quarter-final. And the Indonesians are giving the impression that they've got it in the bag. The crowd, on the other hand, are chanting their favourite Daemingo to try and inspire Korea back into it. They've not given up hope. $15-10. And as Ko falls onto his backside. Maybe Korea's hopes are going the same way. It really has been a wretched morning and afternoon session for them. If they lose this one, it will have been 3 defeats in 3 matches. 2 wins for Indonesia, but it's not happened yet. They need another 6 points. .10, the finishing line is within sight, and even they appear to be a little weary in their chanting now, as though it's a little too late. It isn't, of course. Korea could still take it. They need 11. Now they have an inkling of hope. 11-16. To bring the house down, they have to win it. A long way from home. And that's out. Consecutive points for Korea. They certainly had Indonesia rattled at one stage of that rally. And it's such a psychological lift when you win consecutive points like that. The gap is down to 4. Brilliantly angled, and that's just what Indonesia needed, and Jordan has given it to them. The Indonesian flag is raised in that area of the court where the spectators have a view of the court from an angle. Seven bankings of spectators at 2 levels here, all enjoying the action on 2 courts at the moment, as opposed to the 4 that there are. Oh, that's a poor touch. Again, Ko is the one at fault, and Indonesia are now within 3 points of clinching a second semi-final place today. They lead 18-12, and it is their serve. Don't make a mistake now, he says to her. Oh, that is a mistake, however, by Jordan. Another weak effort. Still there in the ascendancy. Time for a committee meeting. Brilliantly done, and Jordan smashes that one away. 19-13. This is the opportunity for Indonesia to close out the match. So powerful on the leap. And he meant that. And Susanto was punching the air in unison. brilliantly done by Ko. Not all of his work has been impressive today, but that was, and it's 14-19. The match goes on. Time for the Indonesians to towel down and have a quiet word with one another. They're so close now. They don't want to let this one get away. Excellent play initially from Susanto. Finally from Jordan gives Indonesia match point. At 2014, they have the opportunity now to bring more disappointment today to Korea Republic. Is this to be the final point of the match? It isn't, because the Koreans get it right. It was a weak serve, which they exploited. 15-20. But is there any way back for Korea? Victory for them must seem a long way away. Tantalisingly close for Indonesia. Cautious, and that's good enough. Indonesia take it. Deservedly so as well. They won the first game comprehensively 21-9, were thrashed in the second by the same margin extraordinarily, but have prevailed.